This is Genola Johnson with GEBJohnson Consulting. My goal is to help you find your purposeful profession so you can live your life on purpose. Hello, my name is Genola Johnson, and I am very passionate about helping people find their purposeful careers. This is my why. This podcast is about helping you find your purposeful career. My background is a public school teacher, and I wanted another career besides teaching in public school. And I found it very difficult to find something else, as well as the playing field had changed drastically from the first time I started in this career. I knew that if I was having difficulties, that other people were having difficulties as well. So I joined some Facebook groups, and I noticed that a lot of people were having the same problems that I was having. How to update your resume? Do you have to turn in a cover letter? Do I have to change my resume every time I turn in a new job application? Do I even want to be an employee anymore? Do I want to start my own business? And so all of these questions were coming from a lot of different people, and I was asking myself these same questions too. I was trying to figure out my why and why I wanted to change. I knew I wasn't happy, but I wanted something different. So my why is to help you find your passion and in your profession. It may be to help you find a startup career. It may be a side hustle to help fulfill your passion, or it may be different career advice and more. You may also want to visit me on my website at gebjohnson.com to find the weekly blog and my weekly job board listings. My first blog post that I wrote in conjunction with this first podcast is, why are you here? I got a lot of responses, a lot of likes, and a lot of people were retweeting and all of that stuff. But, this is where I was coming from with that particular post. I asked myself this question right after high school and after college and after graduate school. And although God continued to give me answers, I kind of listened, and sometimes I didn't. And sometimes I got into situations that I wasn't so happy, and sometimes I got into situations that I was very happy. But about in my mid-30s, I have a spouse and with kids by now, I had to really try to figure it out. And by my 40s, I really knew I had to do something, because I knew I had another purpose for being on this earth. I felt kind of bad because I had children ages 10 to 13 at the time, and their mom didn't even know what she wanted to do, and this was ridiculous. And so, how do you expect other people to kind of know, was my question. So I tried everything, and I mean everything. So let's start. I started with MLMs, which is the multi-level marketing. And, if you can do that, fine. I did not find it that profitable for me, especially some of the niches. I tried it the first time in college with Avon, which did not work. Pampered Chef, I enjoyed selling Pampered Chef. I was very successful at it. I can't even remember why I stopped, but I really do like their products. My husband and I actually both tried Primerica, and we still use some of their products today. And I think that that's a very good company as well. But again, there were things and events in our lives that we could not continue to work with Primerica as well. And then I tried Mary Kay by myself. I will tell you this. All of these multi-level marketing organizations have positives and negatives. The positive side, you will get all the marketing training you will ever need. The negative side is you are always in a meeting. I remember when I was with Mary Kay, I was trying to get into bed. It was about almost 10 o'clock. I was trying to get a bath. I was literally on a phone call on speakerphone. My side was muted, trying to get my bath so that I can get into bed to go to work the next morning. And then on Saturdays we had meetings, and I'm thinking, when do I have time to sell Mary Kay if I'm always in a meeting? So, for me, multi-level marketing did not work. It is a great business if you want to start. They usually have very low startup costs, and they have tons of training and support. There's always it's always support there. So, if that's how you want to start, by all means, I would suggest choose something that you would buy yourself and then start selling that item. I also started a nonprofit, which, I still have to this day. That was very encouraging. And I used a business coach, and I wrote grants for it. And it has been very fulfilling, although I do want something more. Nonprofits, they take a lot of emotional energy away from you. So, I don't mind that, but I wanted something in more of, my passion. So I became an indie writer, which means that you are a self-published, independent publisher. And, that's great for passive income because, once you write the story and you publish it, you do have to continue to market it. But, you don't have to continue to write unless you choose to. So, these are a few of the things that I actually did try when I was trying to figure out my why. And I say all of that to say this, because if you are trying to find your next career, it can be very difficult and confusing, especially if you don't know where you want to be and what you want to do. And if you're in your mid 30s, 40s, and 50s, 60s, looking for things have changed drastically from when you started your first time. A human most likely will not look at your resume anymore. It goes through an application tracking system. So if you don't have the right keywords in for your resume, it's not going to be flagged as something that a human would actually look for. You have to have a killer LinkedIn profile. When I first started looking for a job right out of college, LinkedIn the internet wasn't even as big as it is now, but LinkedIn definitely was not there. So you have to have a great social media preference as well. I know that all of this is very, very overwhelming. And so what I did was, one of the things that I wanted to share with you is I created a resume tips ebook that goes through all of the things that you needed to do for your resume. There's nothing in there about your cover letter. There's nothing in there about LinkedIn. It's only for the resume part. I have information in there if you're just graduating from college, and then even for the more experienced people, because sometimes people have a lot of experience, especially if you're in your late 50s or 60s. You have tons of years of experience that you've done. Well, if you're still trying to compete against someone who's in their mid 20s to early 30s, obviously that's going to be difficult. You can't put everything on your resume. So I have tips and ideas to help you with all of that as well. I do have a bi-monthly newsletter that comes out on the 15th and the 30th of every month. So you can hop on over to my website and sign up for that as well. So I'm so excited that this is my very first podcast. I would like for you to continue to join me on Mondays so I can discuss with you what I was thinking with my previous Friday's blog posts. I offer tips on resumes, cover letters, job searches, and other hacks that I think you will find that you will be very excited to hear, and you can actually implement in helping you find your purpose. I look forward to serving you so that you can be the best version you can be. Please subscribe to this podcast so I can continue to bring value to you weekly. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at GEBJohnson. Bye, guys.